Chosen one, God marked this private message for your eyes only because the next instruction cannot survive in the old noise. This is not for the crowd. This is not for the people who only listen so they can question what God is forming in you. This is for the part of you that has been quietly pulling back, not from love, not from life, but from anything that keeps interrupting your clarity. You are not here by accident. God has a way of guiding the right eyes to the right word when the soul is finally ready to stop arguing with what it already knows. And you know something has changed. Certain conversations feel heavier. Certain rooms feel smaller. Certain explanations feel unnecessary. That is not pride. That is protection. God is restoring the childlike clarity you had before the world trained you to doubt every holy whisper. He is teaching you to guard what is sacred, discern what is assigned, and obey what is private before it becomes visible. By the time this message ends, you will understand why he hid this word in plain sight and why it was marked for you. Set the noise down, not later, not when the room becomes perfect, not when every person around you finally understands the weight you have been carrying. Set it down here. This is not a message to consume while your spirit is scattered in 10 directions, because some words need the kind of attention that feels like reverence. If there are voices around you, let them become distant. If there are tasks waiting, let them wait without owning you. If your mind is still racing, breathe once and let your body know that it is safe to listen. You are not being rushed. You are being gathered. God does not always shout when he is close. Imagine an empty hallway before dawn. The air is still. The chapel door is shut. No crowd is waiting outside. No one is asking you to explain what you heard. Beneath that door sits a sealed letter, and your name is written across it in a way only your spirit recognizes. You did not create the letter. You did not earn the ink. You did not force the timing. You only arrived at the door when the hour was ready. That is what this season has felt like, has it not? You have been arriving at places inside yourself that you did not know still existed. This is why the message feels private. It is not private because you are better than anyone. It is private because you are being trusted with something that cannot be handled carelessly. Some people hear a holy thing and turn it into pressure. Some people hear a tender thing and turn it into control. So God marks certain words. He covers them until the right heart is ready. He hides them until the noise has lost its power. He lets them wait beneath the door until the one who needs them is no longer begging the crowd to approve the key. That is where you are now. You have already felt the first sign. You are less interested in explaining yourself. The old version of you would have stayed in conversations too long, trying to prove the purity of your motives to people who had already decided how they wanted to see you. Now something in you goes quiet, not defeated, clear. You do not feel the same pull to defend every choice. You do not feel the same panic when someone misunderstands your silence. There is still pain in being misread, but the pain no longer owns your direction. You have learned that some explanations cost more than they heal. The second sign is this. Old conversations have started to feel like noise instead of connection. You may still love the people involved. You may still care about their lives, but something inside you can tell when a conversation is feeding confusion instead of truth, and your spirit no longer wants to pretend. You hear the same complaints. You feel the same loops. You notice the same hunger for drama hiding under concern. It is not that you have become cold. It is that your discernment has become sharper, and what used to pass as normal now feels too heavy to carry. Chosen one, you are not cold when your spirit refuses to keep drinking confusion. You are not prideful when your peace needs protection. You are not lost when familiar voices no longer sound like home. You are being guarded, and that guarding is not random. The third sign is quieter. You are drawn to silence in ways you cannot fully explain. A closed door feels kind. A quiet morning feels holy. A few minutes alone can feel more honest than a full day surrounded by people who keep pulling at the surface of you. The fourth sign is that advice does not impress you the way it used to. Words can sound wise and still feel wrong. People can quote truth and still carry control. Someone can speak with confidence and still miss the tenderness of what God is forming in you. Your spirit knows the difference now. The fifth sign reaches back further. Memories of your younger self are returning, not always clear memories. Sometimes it is only a feeling, a sudden ache for the part of you that believed more easily, created more freely, and trusted the quiet knowing before life taught you to second-guess every holy whisper. God is not calling you backward. He is calling that clean place forward. He is restoring the childlike part of you that knew how to receive, while giving you the mature discernment to guard what you receive. That is a different kind of strength. The sixth sign is protection over your plans. You may feel a strange resistance when you try to tell everyone what is coming. The words may stop in your throat. The excitement may become quiet. Not because the dream is dead, but because your spirit knows the seed is still tender. The seventh sign may hurt the most. You are grieving old access. You miss the ease of being available without thinking. You miss the days when everyone could reach you, ask from you, take from you, and still be met with the same open door. But the door has changed. This is not random. This is not anxiety. This is not simply a mood or a season of being tired. Something specific is happening in you. God is narrowing the room around the message because the wider room kept interrupting what only silence could protect. And beneath every one of these signs lives a deeper question. Why would God mark a message at all? Why would he let a word sit under the door instead of placing it in the middle of the street where everyone could see it? God does not hide truth because he wants his children confused. He hides sacred instruction because formation needs covering. A seed can be alive and still need darkness. A promise can be real and still need quiet. A calling can be holy and still be harmed by premature exposure. This is why some people could not come closer. Not because God hates them, not because you are above them, not because love has ended. Some people simply do not have the grace to handle the stage of formation you are in, and God loves you enough to guard the unfinished places. Wrong ears can turn calling into pressure. Wrong ears can turn timing into impatience. Wrong ears can turn discernment into doubt. Wrong ears can turn a holy pause into shame. That is why God sometimes lets the word remain sealed until you stop asking unsafe voices to validate it. Think of Samuel in the quiet house. The lamp of God had not gone out. The house was sleeping, but heaven was not silent. A boy heard his name before he understood who was speaking, and the call came in a place where stillness made room for recognition. This is why your silence has not been empty. It has been a sanctuary. This is why your withdrawal has not been wasted. It has been a training room. This is why certain doors closing did not destroy you. They reduced the noise around the door God wanted you to notice. The lamp has not gone out. Hear that slowly. The lamp has not gone out. There is still a light in you. It may not feel like the old fire. It may not look like the energy you once had. It may not express itself through constant motion, constant speech, or constant availability. But it is there, steady enough to be protected. You have been carrying many voices. Some came from people who meant well. Some came from people who needed control. Some came from old pain that learned how to sound responsible. Some came from fear dressed as wisdom. You do not have to sort them all at once. Just notice this. You are still here. Your heart is still listening. Your spirit has not become numb beyond return. Even after disappointment, Even after delay, even after being misunderstood more times than you can count, something in you still turns when God comes near. So breathe here. Let the truth settle without forcing it to become a plan. Let the sealed letter rest in your hands for a moment. Not every sacred thing has to be opened with shaking fingers. Not every answer has to be rushed into action. God is not rushing you. He is gathering you. He is teaching you to recognize the difference between a voice that demands and a voice that calls. One creates panic. One creates reverence. One makes you perform. One brings you home to yourself. And as the hallway grows quiet, the door in front of you does not disappear. It waits. The letter remains. The lamp still burns. The same God who marked the message is beginning to restore the part of you that can receive it without fear. The childlike part of you is not gone. It has been covered. It has been trained to lower its voice. It has been told to be realistic, to be careful, to be less trusting, and to stop believing that one quiet knowing could matter more than a room full of opinions. But God does not despise the childlike place in you. He protects it. There is a reason. He said that the heart must become like a little child to enter what the kingdom carries. Not childish, not foolish, not easy to manipulate. Childlike, open, clean, able to receive without turning every whisper into a courtroom. You remember that place, maybe not with perfect details, maybe only as a feeling. There was a time when your spirit moved faster than your fear. You knew when something felt right. You knew when something felt wrong. You could create without asking whether it would be approved. Then life got loud. People laughed at your sensitivity. Pain taught you to rehearse disappointment before hope could rise. Betrayal taught you to read every face for danger, and survival taught you to call overthinking wisdom because it felt safer than trust. That is how the noise entered. It did not arrive all at once. It came through small moments. A dream you stopped sharing, a gift you stopped using, a prayer you stopped believing would be answered. A clear inner yes that became buried beneath 100 possible no's. Chosen one. God is not asking you to return to a younger version of yourself. He is restoring the clean reception that existed before fear became your teacher. He is bringing back the part of you that could hear without needing to defend the hearing. You were trained to calculate what you once received. You were trained to defend what you once knew. You were trained to doubt what once arrived clean. You were trained to explain what God only asked you to obey. But the training is being undone. This is why the private message matters. God is not only giving you information, He is healing the place where information became noise. He is touching the part of your mind that learned to expect confusion, and the part of your heart that forgot peace could be simple. Truth honors both spirit and vessel. Some of what you call spiritual fog also has a human expression, because the soul receives through a body that has been tired, pressured, distracted, and trained to operate in pieces instead of wholeness. That is why I want to name something gently, without pressure and without mystery for the sake of selling. There is a tool called the Genius Switch, created by Dr. Daniel Barone and his team, built around an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence designed with neural sync technology to support whole brain activation. Only explore it if your spirit confirms. The link in the description and pinned comment points to where his team made it available. This is not a replacement for prayer. It is not a replacement for obedience. It is simply one practical support for the chosen one who feels the need to restore clarity in the vessel that carries the word. And even with every tool available, the deeper message remains this: God is restoring your ability to hear Him without panic. He is not asking you to perform your way into clarity. He is not asking you to become impressive enough to receive. He is calling you back to a cleaner place. The blessing over this season is clarity without panic. Not clarity that makes you rush. Not clarity that makes you prove. Not clarity that turns you harsh. Clean clarity. The kind that lets you know the next step without needing to control the next 10 steps. You will begin to feel the difference between urgency and instruction. Urgency tightens your chest. Instruction steadies your spirit. Urgency makes you afraid of being late. Instruction makes you faithful with what is in front of you. God is training you to recognize the difference. Another blessing is discernment without bitterness. You will see more clearly, but you will not need to become cruel. You will recognize what is unhealthy without hating the person attached to it. You will notice manipulation without losing compassion. This is maturity. This is not the old version of discernment that made you suspicious of everyone. This is a cleaner gift. It allows you to bless people from a distance when closeness would damage what God is trying to grow in you. There is also a blessing of silence without loneliness. That may be the one your heart needs most. You have known silence that felt like abandonment. You have known rooms where no one checked on you. You have known nights where the quiet became heavy. But this silence is different. This silence has presence in it. This silence is not proof that you were forgotten. It is the space where God can finally speak without 10 other voices pushing their hands over the letter. Chosen one, you are being given obedience without public permission. That is a rare gift. Many people cannot move until someone claps. Many people cannot obey until someone agrees. Many people cannot trust a word unless the crowd calls it wise. But God is training you differently. He is teaching you to take the clean step, even when the room does not understand the direction. He is teaching you to move with reverence, not rebellion. He is teaching you to walk quietly without shrinking. There is a blessing of restored creative insight. Ideas may return, not all at once, not like noise. They may come gently, while washing your hands, while sitting in stillness, while waking from sleep with a sentence burning softly inside you. Do not dismiss those sparks. Some of them are not random. Some of them are pieces of the sealed letter. Some of them are God showing you that the fog is not your permanent condition. The lamp has not gone out. There is a blessing of prayer becoming simple again, not performative, not decorated, not full of words you think you are supposed to say. Simple prayer, honest prayer. A few words from the deep place may carry more power than long speeches from the exhausted place. There is a blessing of decision becoming cleaner. You may not know everything, you may still have questions, but the next right thing will become harder to ignore. The more you release the wrong voices, the more the true word rises. God is not giving you more noise. He is giving you cleaner signal. He is not giving you another burden to carry. He is teaching you what was never yours to keep holding. He is not making you disappear. He is hiding you until your obedience becomes rooted. This is why the blessing cannot be reduced to one outward event. It is deeper than one phone call. It is deeper than one open door. It is deeper than one person coming back or one opportunity arriving. God is rebuilding the receiver inside you. And when the receiver is restored, life begins to sound different. Conviction sounds different. Peace sounds different. Warning sounds different. Love sounds different. Even delay sounds different, because delay no longer has to mean denial. The sealed letter is still in your hands. You may want to open it quickly, but God is teaching you to hold it with care. A sealed letter can be real before it is read. A promise can be real before it is explained. A calling can be real before it is visible. That is why you must stop treating privacy like failure. Some of the holiest things in your life are not late. They are covered. They are not weak. They are forming. They are not hidden because God forgot them. They are hidden because exposure too early would invite the wrong hands. You have felt this in your plans. Every time you try to say too much, something in you closes. Every time you start to explain what is still tender, your peace feels interrupted. That is not fear every time. Sometimes it is holy restraint. A seed is not ashamed because it is underground. A letter is not powerless because it is sealed. A word is not false because it is private. What God has marked for you does not lose power because other people cannot read it yet. What happens when the wrong people reach for what God has not handed to them? They may not mean harm. They may think they are helping. But an unhealed hand can bruise a holy thing even while calling the bruise concern. This is why your access is changing. It is why your language is changing. It is why you cannot share every dream, every plan, every prayer, every ache, or every instruction with the same people you once allowed into everything. Receiving also means guarding. So if this word is landing in your spirit, write, I receive, not for attention, not to perform, not to prove anything to anyone watching. Write it as a quiet agreement that you will treat sacred instruction differently. I receive means I will not hand my peace to every opinion. I receive means I will not expose the seed before the soil has done its work. I receive means I trust God enough to obey the private word before I understand the public outcome. And as you receive, remember this: the message was marked, but it was not meant to make you afraid. It was meant to make you faithful. The privacy around you is not a prison. It is a chamber. It is not the end of connection. It is the beginning of cleaner connection. The door is still before you. The lamp is still burning. The letter is still warm in your hands. And God is restoring the part of you that can read what He wrote without letting the old noise translate it for you. Chosen one, the wrong noise cannot come with you. That may sound heavy at first. It is actually mercy. God is not asking you to hate people, abandon love, or become hard inside. He is teaching you that not every voice can travel with a private instruction. The enemy of this message is not always rebellion. Sometimes it is access. Sometimes it is the habit of answering every demand because you are afraid silence will make you look selfish. Sometimes the thing stealing your clarity is a responsibility God never placed in your hands. People can demand explanations and call it love. Old roles can demand your availability and call it loyalty. Fear can demand delay and call it wisdom. Busyness can demand your attention and call it purpose, while your spirit becomes more tired every day. That is why this part matters. The most dangerous noise is not always loud. It can sound almost holy. It can use soft words. It can sound concerned. It can make you feel guilty for protecting the very place where God is trying to speak. Not every demand is your assignment. Not every emergency is your instruction. Not every disappointed person is your judge. Not every open door is permission. Not every familiar voice has earned the right to translate what God has marked for you. This is where many chosen ones lose peace. They receive a private word, then rush to place it in public hands. They feel the warmth of the sealed letter, then hand it to someone who only knows how to inspect, question, measure, or reduce what they cannot carry. You are not weak because you did that before. You were trying to be understood. You were trying to be honest. You were trying to keep connection alive. But some connections survived only because you kept giving away access that God was teaching you to protect. There is a kind of guilt that follows growth. It whispers that you have changed too much. It says you are leaving people behind. It tells you that boundaries mean betrayal. But sometimes the only betrayal is letting old access destroy new obedience. God is not asking you to become unreachable. He is asking you to become stewarded. That means your yes becomes cleaner, your no becomes quieter, your silence becomes less defensive, your love becomes less tangled with the need to be needed. The private message needs a method, not a system that makes you rigid, not a rule book that turns you cold. A simple way to carry what was marked without letting old patterns break the seal. This is the sealed message method. The first movement is silence. Silence is not punishment. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is the clean room where the word can breathe before you ask other voices to touch it. If you never let the word sit in silence, you will confuse reaction with instruction. The second movement is discernment. Ask what the word produces in you. Does it create peace with courage or panic with pressure? Does it lead you toward humility or toward proving yourself? Does it make obedience clearer or make your soul feel trapped? A true word from God may challenge you, but it will not need fear to control you. It may stretch you, but it will not require you to abandon wisdom. It may separate you from old patterns, but it will not make hatred the proof of holiness. The third movement is guarding. Guarding is not hiding from life. It is protecting formation. It is knowing that some seeds need soil before sunlight. It is knowing that some prayers become weaker when repeated to people who feed on doubt. Guard the dream while it is tender. Guard the instruction while it is forming. Guard the peace before it becomes a decision. Guard the clarity before old guilt turns it into confusion. What God marked does not need every person to touch it to become real. The fourth movement is obedience. Obedience is the clean step in front of you, not the entire map, not the full explanation, not the dramatic announcement. One clean step, one honest response. One door closed, one habit released, one word followed. Obedience reveals what explanation cannot. Some things only make sense after you move. Some confirmations only arrive on the path. Some peace only meets you after your foot leaves the old place. That is why private instruction requires quiet courage. There is one more layer beneath this private message. It explains why you can love God, desire obedience, and still feel mentally fogged. It explains why you can know something is true, yet feel slow to act, crowded inside, and strangely disconnected from your own clarity. This does not cancel faith. It shows how the vessel carrying faith can become tired. Your spirit may be willing, while your mind feels cluttered. Your heart may want to obey, while years of stress, distraction, and survival have trained your inner world to move in fragments. That is the part we need to close with honesty. You are not failing because God stopped speaking. Much of the battle has been noise, over-access, and an adult mind trained to doubt clean instruction. The issue is not that you are empty. The issue is that too much has been speaking. This message has been showing you a pattern. God reduces noise. God restores discernment. God teaches guarded obedience. God brings back childlike reception with mature boundaries. That is not escape. That is formation. That is how the sealed letter becomes safe in your hands. You are the chosen one who is not becoming superior. You are becoming responsible. You are not learning how to look more spiritual in public. You are learning how to carry a sacred word in private without letting every voice rewrite it before it matures. When the Spirit receives, the vessel still carries. Your body carries stress. Your mind carries habits. Your attention carries scars from a world that trained you to stay open to everything, even when openness was costing you the peace God gave. This is where the bridge becomes practical. Not because a tool can replace prayer, not because a product can replace obedience, not because your calling depends on buying anything. It does not. But sometimes a practical support can help the vessel become more available to the clarity your spirit is reaching for. Most people accept fog as normal. They accept dullness as aging. They accept the loss of wonder as adulthood. They accept that the childlike part of them had to disappear. But the chosen one keeps asking a deeper question. What if that original clarity was not meant to die? That question is not vanity, it is remembrance. It is the ache of someone who knows there is more inside them than their current fog can express. It is the quiet grief of knowing you were created with a sharper light than the one you have been living from. There is a scientific anchor here that is worth hearing carefully. Dr. Roger Sperry received the Nobel Prize for work connected to split brain research. His work helped reveal how powerful the two sides of the brain can be and how important deeper coordination can be for human function. Dr. Daniel Barone, a neurologist in New York City, built from this kind of understanding with his team. Their focus is neural sync technology. Their aim is to support whole brain activation, where both sides of the brain work together with greater harmony and availability. According to the Teaching on Dr. Barone page, many children show extraordinary creative potential early in life, while very few adults keep that level of creative openness. Whether you describe that spiritually or practically, the question is painful. What happened to the child who could receive so clearly? You have seen glimpses of the opposite. A person enters flow, and something lights up. An inventor sees the solution. An artist performs with strange ease. A writer receives the sentence. A mother suddenly knows what her child needs. The whole person feels present. This is the bridge, not hype, not pressure. A quiet bridge between the spiritual truth of restored hearing and the practical reality that your mind may need support after years of noise. The vessel that carries the word deserves care. One nurse from San Diego shared that life had felt like it was happening to her. She described fog, pressure, and a sense of being pulled along by circumstances. After using the audio, she reported more ease and renewed connection. That is her testimony, not a guarantee for every person. That is why Dr. Barone and his team created the Genius Switch. It is an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. It uses neural sync technology. It is designed to support whole brain activation. It is not a meditation app. It is not an expensive machine. It is not a complicated routine that asks you to fight your mind for half an hour. You put on headphones, you close your eyes, you listen for 8 minutes a day. That is the protocol. You do not have to repeat mantras. You do not have to write affirmations. You do not have to force a spiritual experience. You simply give the sequence room to do what it was designed to support. This matters because many alternatives are heavy. Some people pay around $300 for one in-person session of neurofeedback. Some home machines cost around $7,000. Dr. Barone team believed the work would still hold value even at $500. But his team did not place it at $500. They did not place it at $200. They did not place it at $100. The regular price was $49, and today on his page it is available for $39. That price includes lifetime access. It also includes 4 bonuses: a guided visualization from a top-rated creator on the Calm app, a smart grocery shopping guide, a classic manifestation book that has been around for more than 100 years, a printable 5 habits infographic. There is also a 100% money-back guarantee. Listen once, listen many times. If it does not feel right for you, the page says you can ask for your money back. That matters, because no chosen one should feel trapped by pressure while seeking clarity. One caution matters. Do not search random places and assume every similar title is the same thing. Dr. Barone team says the actual sequence is only available through their direct page, and they explain why there. The link in the description and pinned comment points you there. If your spirit confirms, explore the Genius Switch. If it does not, stay with the message and keep walking in obedience. There is no pressure here. There is only an invitation for the chosen one who feels called to support the clarity this word has been naming. Because the tool is not the letter. The price is not the calling. The audio is not the voice of God. The deeper truth remains steady. You were marked before you understood why, and God is teaching you how to carry what He marked without letting old noise take it from your hands. The letter was never about the paper. It was about the person trusted to carry it. That is why nothing you heard before this moment needs to become pressure. A tool can support clarity, but obedience still belongs to the heart that God is forming in secret. God did not mark this message because you clicked the right thing. He did not mark it because you purchased anything. He did not mark it because you performed well enough to be noticed. He marked it because there is a stewardship growing in you that the old noise could not be allowed to touch. Return to the hallway. The door is still quiet. The lamp is still burning. The sealed letter is no longer just something outside you. It has become a witness inside you, reminding you that God can trust you with a word before the world can understand your walk. Chosen one, you are not just private. You are stewarded. There is a difference. Privacy can come from pain, but stewardship comes from purpose. Privacy can hide from life, but stewardship protects what life is not ready to handle. You are not disappearing, you are being gathered. You are not becoming distant, you are becoming clear. You are not becoming unreachable. You are no longer open to every voice that learned how to reach you without honoring what God placed in you. This is why some people will feel the shift before they understand it. They may call it attitude, they may call it distance, they may call it selfishness, but deep in your spirit, you will know the truth. You are not rejecting love. You are rejecting distortion. You are not hiding from people. You are hiding the seed from climates that would kill it too early. You are not closing your heart. You are closing the wrong doors. You are not becoming hard. You are becoming holy in the way you handle access. Chosen one, you are trusted with private instruction. Let that land. You can hear without performing. You can obey without explaining. You can wait without apologizing. You can protect what is tender without turning bitter. That is not weakness. That is a level of maturity that many people never learn because they keep giving sacred things to unsafe rooms. You are the one who can carry what God marked. Not because you are perfect, not because you never doubt, not because your faith never shakes. You can carry it because something in you keeps returning to the quiet place, even after life tries to drag you back into noise. That returning is evidence. Every time you choose peace over performance, you are carrying it because it was marked. Every time you choose discernment over people-pleasing, you are carrying it because it was marked. Every time you let a wrong voice lose access, you are carrying it because it was marked. Do not despise the private road. The road may be narrow, but it is not empty. The road may be quiet, but it is not powerless. The road may be misunderstood, but it is not mistaken. God has walked with hidden people for a long time. He formed David in fields before a throne ever saw him. He formed Joseph in silence before a palace needed him. He formed Moses in wilderness before a nation followed him. Hiddenness is not proof that God forgot. Sometimes, hiddenness is the room where the assignment becomes clean. Your life is not late because others cannot see the formation. Your calling is not small because it is not being applauded. Your obedience is not meaningless because it is happening without an audience. Heaven has always known how to witness what people overlook. There is a strength rising in you that does not need to announce itself. It is calm, it is steady, it does not beg to be believed. It does not need to win every conversation. It knows that the word God marked will defend itself in time. This is why your next season will require fewer explanations. Some people will understand through fruit, some will understand through distance, some will never understand at all. That cannot be the condition of your obedience anymore. The letter has been opened in your spirit. What remains is not noise. What remains is reverence. What remains is the quiet agreement between you and God that the next step will not be dragged back into the old room for approval. Some words do not need applause. They need a place to land. Let this be that place. Let your shoulders soften for a moment. Let your hands unclench. Let your breath come back to you without asking what must be fixed next. Not everything sacred needs to become action in the same hour it is received. You have been carrying the need to prove for too long. Prove that you are kind. Prove that you are not angry. Prove that you heard God. Prove that your silence has meaning. Prove that your distance is not cruelty. That burden has been heavy. Lay it down here, not because people will instantly understand, not because every relationship will become simple. Lay it down because your assignment was never meant to be carried under the weight of constant defense. The quiet after the word matters. It is where the word sinks. It is where the nervous striving begins to loosen. It is where the old urge to explain reaches for the door, and you let it pass without following it. The chapel is still, the lamp is steady. The letter rests open before God. Nothing needs to be forced. Nothing needs to be shouted. Nothing needs to be proven in this breath. You are allowed to receive without turning the receiving into another performance. The letter has been opened. What remains is to seal what God has spoken, not with fear, not with control, not with panic, with surrender, with reverence, with the quiet strength of a chosen one who understands that private instruction requires a guarded heart. So let this prayer rise from the deep place. God, thank you for guiding the chosen one into quiet. Thank you for not letting the noise win. Thank you for hiding the word until the heart was ready to hold it without handing it away. Thank you for every closed door that protected what was still forming. Thank you for every delay that kept the seed covered. Thank you for every holy discomfort that warned this chosen one when a room was no longer safe for the next instruction. Release them now from wrong voices. Release them from false urgency. Release them from the guilt of growing. Release them from the need to explain sacred things to people who are not assigned to carry them. Let every chain of over-access fall quietly. Restore childlike clarity. Restore clean hearing. Restore the simple yes. Restore the peaceful no. Restore the courage to obey before the crowd agrees. Restore the wisdom to wait when the Spirit says the letter is not ready for public hands. Give them discernment without bitterness. Give them silence without loneliness. Give them privacy without fear. Give them obedience without pride. Let their heart remain soft, even as their boundaries become clear. I ask that every old translation of their life be broken. The voice that called them selfish for needing space. The voice that called them confused for needing silence. The voice that called them weak for being sensitive. Let those voices lose authority now. Let the marked word be sealed in peace. Let the next step become clean. Let the old noise lose its pull. Let the right people recognize the fruit without needing to control the seed. Let the wrong hands be kept away from what is still tender. And I hear the Father heart saying, "What I marked for you, I will teach you how to carry." Receive that slowly. He is not giving you a word and leaving you alone with it. He is not handing you a letter and walking away. He is the one who marked it, the one who guarded it, and the one who will mature it in you. You do not have to become hard to protect it. You do not have to become loud to prove it. You do not have to become suspicious of everyone to guard it. You only have to stay close to the voice that brought you back to clarity. Chosen one, your private instruction is sealed. Your discernment is being restored. Your silence is being purified. Your obedience is being strengthened. Your childlike hearing is returning with mature wisdom, and the old noise does not get to name you anymore. What felt like isolation was protection. What felt like delay was covering. What felt like silence was invitation. What felt like loss of access was the mercy of God teaching you that not everyone can touch the letter. So walk differently now. Speak more cleanly. Share more carefully. Listen more deeply. Wait more peacefully. When your spirit says hold it, hold it. When God says move, move. When the crowd asks for what God has not released, stay faithful. If this word has found the right place in you, write, I receive. Let it be a quiet agreement, not a performance, not a signal for approval, a marker that you will treat what God gives you as sacred. You may also write, it is sealed. Let those words stand over this season. They are not magic words. They are agreement words. They are a way of telling your own spirit that the private message will not be handed back to old noise. If this message gave language to what you have been feeling, mark your agreement with a simple response. Let the response be clean. Let it carry faith. Let it remind you later that you heard, you received, and you chose to guard what was marked. And remain close to this stream of messages for the season you are walking through. Not because you need more noise, because the right word at the right hour can strengthen what God is already forming in secret. The hallway is quiet now. The door is no longer strange. The lamp is still burning. The letter is no longer outside your reach. It rests within you, sealed by peace, guarded by wisdom, and carried by the chosen one God trusted to receive it. Go with clarity. Go with reverence. Go with clean obedience. The message was marked for you, and what God marked, He knows how to protect.